The rainbow as a sign of God's covenant with Noah, the forgotten miracle that is still in the heavens. Have you ever stopped to think about what the rainbow really means? Is it just a natural aspect or a divine reminder? What if I told you that every time you see a rainbow, you are witnessing one of God's greatest miracles? The story of the flood and God's covenant with Noah is one of the most impactful in the Bible. But over time, many people forgot the true meaning of the rainbow. He is not just a spectacle of colors in the sky. He is an eternal covenant, a visible reminder of God's commitment to humanity. Do we still take this seriously? In this article, you will understand every deep detail of the rainbow miracle, exploring everything from divine judgment in the flood to the spiritual impact of this promise that is still being fulfilled today. If you want to find out why God placed this sign in the heavens, read on and prepare to have your perspective transformed. The flood, God's judgment on the corrupted world. To understand why God created the rainbow, we need to go back to the time before the flood. The Bible reveals to us that the world was in decadence, completely corrupted by sin and violence. Genesis 6 verses 5 to 7 describes what God saw on earth. The Lord saw that the wickedness of man was great upon the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only more and more continually. So, the Lord is sorry for having made man on the earth, and this weighs heavily on his heart. The Lord said, "I will destroy the man who wept from the face of the earth." Humanity was rotten. People had completely turned away from God. The world was doomed to destruction. But there was a different man, a righteous man who walked with God. Noah, the man who found grace before God. Amid all this corruption, Noah was a man of integrity. He did not mix with the evil of the world and, therefore, found grace in the eyes of God. Genesis 6 verses 8 to 9. But Noah found favor in the eyes of the Lord. These are the generations of Noah. Noah was a righteous and perfect man in his generations. Noah walked with God. Was Noah perfect? No, but he was faithful. While the whole world ignored God, Noah sought him. And so, God decided to save Noah and his family. It was then that God gave an absurd and inexplicable order to human eyes. Make yourself an ark of cypress wood. Genesis 6 verse 14. Stop now. If this story is keeping you guessing, just imagine how many other incredible revelations you can discover. Subscribe to the channel now and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any content that can transform your view of the Bible and the supernatural. Comment below. Have you ever seen a rainbow and felt like it was a sign from God? I want to hear your opinion. Let's explore the mysteries of faith together. Click the button to subscribe now. What? Build an ark? But why? God revealed to Noah that a catastrophic flood would destroy the entire earth. He had to build an immense ark where his family and animals would be saved. Imagine the scenario. Noah spent decades building an ark under people's ridicule and description. Everyone thinks he's crazy, but he continues because he trusts in God. Until, finally, God's prophecy is fulfilled. The flood, the wrath of God upon the earth. When Noah and his family enter the ark, the doors close, and the rain begins to fall. Genesis 7 verses 11 to 12. In the 600th year of Noah's life, in the second month, on the 17th day of the month, all the fountains of the great deep were burst open, and the windows of heaven were opened. It rained on the earth for 40 days and 40 nights. It was the end of the world as people knew it. The earth was covered by deep water. God's judgment has been fulfilled. Only Noah, his family, and the animals on the ark survived. The storm's end and new hope. After 150 days, the waters began to recede. The ark rested on Mount Ararat, and Noah called upon a dove to see if there was dry land. When the dove returned with an olive leaf, Noah realized that the time to start over had already arrived. He left the ark and made an altar to the Lord, offering sacrifices in gratitude. Genesis 8 verses 20 to 21. Then Noah built an altar to the Lord, and taking every clean animal and every clean bird, he offered burnt offerings on the altar. The Lord smelled the pleasant aroma and said to himself, "I will never again curse the ground because of man." It was then that God made an eternal promise. The rainbow, the sign of the new covenant. Genesis 9 verses 12 to 17. "This is the sign of the covenant that I make between me and you, and with every living creature that is with you for future generations. I set my bow in the clouds, and it will be a sign of the covenant between me and the earth." What does this mean? The rainbow is not just a natural aspect. It is a divine seal. God promised never again to destroy the earth with water. The rainbow is a visible reminder of this promise. Why did God choose a bow? In ancient culture, a bow was a weapon of war. God placed his bow pointed toward heaven, indicating that he had laid down his wrath. The rainbow still appears today because God never cuts his promise. The rainbow and the prophecy for the last days. But pay attention. Jesus said that in the last days the world will be like it was in the days of Noah. Matthew 24 verses 37 to 39. "For as it was in the days of Noah, so will the coming of the Son of Man be." This means that corruption will once again dominate the world. God's judgment will come again, but this time it will not be with water. 2 Pedro 3:7. "Now the heavens and the earth which now exist by the same word were saved for fire. The next judgment will be by fire." Conclusion. The rainbow is a warning and a hope. The rainbow is more than a spectacle in the sky. It is a reminder of God's grace and his coming judgment. He calls us to repentance and faith. Are you ready to meet God? Do you accept his grace, or will you be taken by surprise like those who ignored Noah? If this message touched you, share it with someone. Thank you so much for watching this far. If this message touched your heart, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who needs to hear it today. If you haven't subscribed yet, do so now. Turn on notifications so you don't miss any content that can strengthen your faith and bring you powerful new revelations.